Hey everybody, and welcome back to yet another fun and exciting pre-algebra class. In today's lesson, we're going to do lessons 1.10 and lesson 1.11. Seems like a lot of fun, right? Putting two lessons in one. It's worked out in the past, so let's see if we can get it to work again. For the most part, I covered a lot of lesson 1.10 in the last lesson. So I think just a little bit of review here and you'll be fine, and then we'll move on to 1.11. 1.10 is on page number 44. We're going to be talking about percent basics. Let's take a look here at the screen. And what you're going to see here is you're going to see 65 and 3/5%. Now, if we want to convert that to a decimal or to a fraction, we can do both of those things. So let's go ahead and convert this. It'll be a lot of work to get it into a fraction, so let's just convert this one into a decimal. Still a little bit of work to be done, and the biggest problem is this thing right here. And a lot of students make this mistake, and again, we're kind of reviewing what we've already talked about. But 3/5. Now, 3/5 should be easy for you because it should be in your mind because you're already memorizing that list that I gave you in the last lesson. So what is the fraction decimal equivalent of 3/5? Okay, remember 3/5, that equals, basically you're going to say 3 divided by 5. And then you put a decimal, and then you can add zeros to this and go up. So if you remember, that's going to equal 0.6. Okay? So the thing that we want to do is we want to get our fraction decimal equivalent, and we want to insert it back in. Now, remember, we are not going to touch the percent yet. Just leave the percent alone. And so it's going to be 65.6. All we did was inserted this for this, and then we leave it as a percent. It's very important. This is where students mess up all the time. They just write this as the answer without the percent sign. All we did not deal with the percent sign. We only dealt with the fraction. Okay, so there's two pieces to this. There's deal with the fraction. Now we're going to deal with the percent sign. Do you remember how to deal with the percent sign from last lesson? You should. So now we're just going to take percent means per 100. So we're going to take this and we're going to move it two places. Why? Because there's two zeros, right? So there's two zeros there in the percent sign. So we're going to move it two places. 1, 2, right? Okay. 0.656. That's right. We're going to move it to the left. Okay. So that would be our answer, 0.656. Okay. Be very careful that you take that one step at a time. Don't try to get too fast there, because when you do, you end up with answers like 65.6. And you know what your teacher's going to do? They're going to take out their red pen and they're going to say wrong. Okay. So be careful. Make sure you take the time and you move. First of all, you convert it for the fraction into the decimal. And then secondly, you take the decimal, insert it back, and then you convert the percent by moving it two places, piece by piece. All right, now turning your book over to page number 47. This is 1.11. And we are going to be talking about is, of, and percent. So is, of, and percent problems. Now, it probably could be better written is percent of problems. And what we do with these is we really need to know three little formulas. We plug into the formula, we get the right answer. Easy peasy. Well, what's not easy peasy is memorizing the formulas and learning how to fit those in there. So the example I used on the other video was 4 is 40% of, and we could move this of a little bit closer so it looks better, of 10. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how to get these numbers. if one is missing. So this is a true statement. 4 is 40% of 10. Now, let's go through it and let me show you now on the screen how to do that. So first of all, we're going to erase the 4 from the is. So we have blank is 40% of 10. What you have to do is you take the is, excuse me, and is what you're looking for. So is equals, and here's the formula that you do. Percent times of. Percent times of. What do I mean by that? Take your 40% and you put it here. You take your of number. 10 is your of number. 10 goes with that, and we're going to put it here where the of is. Okay? So actually, let me do this in one underneath it. So we'll say is equals 40% times 10. I don't like this 40% because you can't really multiply by 40%. So in order to get rid of the percent sign, we have to move the decimal 2 places to the left. Just like to add the percent sign, you move 2 places to the right. To remove the percent sign, you go 2 places to the left with your decimal. So it's now 0.40 times 10. That's our problem. 10 times 0.40. Okay? And so you would get, and you don't even need the 0 right here. That's kind of a waste, that 0. So we're just going to call it 0.40. You could write it there. So the 0 comes down. 4 times 0 is 0, and 1 times 4 is 4. Notice I have 2 decimal places. 1, 2. That's for my percent sign. 1, 2. The answer is 4.00, or the answer is just 4. 4 is 40% of 10. All right, so that is how to find it with an is. Is equals percent times of. Percent times of. Don't forget to move your decimal point 2 places. Okay, let's go ahead and do the next one. The next one is what happens if we're missing our percent. So we'll go back to this, and I will say that this is 4. And now we're going to take the 40% off, and we're going to have a blank here. So now notice we're looking for percent. That's what we're looking for. So the formula goes percent equals, if I want to find the percent, here's what I do. Is over of. Is over of. Now I just take my 4 and my 10. My 4 is my is. So I've got 4 over 10. I've talked to you about this already, but what does this line mean right here? Well, it means fraction. Yes, I know. But what does it mean? What does the fraction bar mean in math? It means to divide. So we are going to do 10 into 4. Well, you can't really do that, so we have to add a decimal point and zeros, okay, so that we can actually make this happen. Now you say 10 goes into 40 how many times? 10 goes into 40 4 times. And they get 40, 0, 0. I'm going to put another 0 up here. You don't really have to, but you do in a second. Because remember, we're looking for percent, right? So we have to move this decimal 2 places and add our percent sign. So it's going to be 40%. 40%. Okay? And that's what we had before, so the math does work out on that. So in order to find that, let me go back to this real quick before I erase it. So percent is over of. Percent equals is over of. All right. Next, let's do the of. Let's say now we have the is and we have the percent, and we are looking for the of. So let's go back to this and let's write 40%. And now we're looking for our of number. We don't know what that is. And we're pretending we don't know what it is. We actually do. We just erased the 10 there. But we're going to figure it out mathematically. All right, so now when we're looking for of, here's the way the formula goes. Of equals is over percent. Is over percent. All right, so now what we're going to do is we're going to plug in 4 over 40%. And again, I don't like the percent sign when we're doing math because we can't use it. So we're going to move our decimal 2 places to the left to eliminate that percent sign. So there we go, 4 over 0.40. We just did one like this. What do we do here? Sorry. What do we do here? Not erase it. What do we do here? We divide. That's right. That's a fraction bar. So we're going to divide 4 divided by 0.40. Now, if you remember basic math, here's what you do on this. You have to move your decimal point over 2 spots. Our decimal point's right here. We move it over 2 spots. So we have 40 into 400. 40 into 400. Okay. And now we just go 40 goes into 40 one time. 40, 0, 0, 0, 10. The answer is 10. So right there. There we go. 40. 4 is 40% of 10. So how do we find the of? We put is over percent, and then we divide it. Okay? And that's really all you need to know for this lesson. They might word it a little bit differently. I think the book uses, sometimes for the of, it uses the word base. But for the most part, is, of, and percent. Those are the 3 words that you need to use. Sometimes for the is, they use the word percentage. Percent and percentage are 2 different things. So be careful with percent and percentage. But other than that, I think that that's about all you need for this lesson. Just make sure that you plug into those formulas. Write those formulas down. You say, Mr. Steve, it's not on the screen anymore. Okay, so let's put it back on the screen so you can write it down. All right, so if we're looking for is, what do we do? Is equals percent times of. Okay. If we are looking for the percent, then we do is over of. If we are looking for the of, we do is over percent. Okay? So there are your 3 formulas. Memorize those 3 formulas. You need those. Those are very important to you, not just here in this class, but in the future and really in life, because in life you do have to find percentage a lot. It's something that, like, if you go to the store and there's a discount on some clothes and you want to know what you have to pay, you need to be able to do this, because when you know the of, let me give you an example. I'll just do this real quick. So you go to the store and your pair of pants that you want to buy are $12 for the pair of pants, but there is a 30% discount. Okay? Now let's write this in the format. You would say, what is 30% of $12? You want to know how much you're going to save on those pants. Okay? And so this is how you work these questions. How do you figure this out? You find 30% of 12. Well, if we're looking for is, we go back up here, we do percent times of. So we're going to do 12 times 0.3. 0. That 0 just comes down. This is a 6, and this is a 3. 2 decimal points. We are going to save $3.60 on our pair of pants. So now the question is, how much do we pay for the pair of pants? Well, you would have to subtract that from 12, because that's the total that you're paying. So this is our discount. And so how much are we paying for the pants? Well, I'll tell you in just a second. Oh, no, we can do that. So 0, 40, that's $8.40 is what we pay for the pants. Okay? And so that's how you do 30% discounts. When you go to Kohl's and they got a 30% off, now you'll be able to tell your mom what she has to pay for the clothes that she's buying. Okay? So try that next time you go. See how close you get. See if you can figure it out. Use your calculator there in the store. Use your phone, whatever. But yeah, that's how we use is, of, and percent, and they are useful. We do use those in real life. And that's all I have for you. I hope you learned something in these two lessons that we packaged together. Make sure that you're remembering some of those key things. Make sure you remember what the word of means. Make sure you remember to move the decimal 2 places. All that good stuff. If you're not remembering those things, then you're going to have a problem. Write those little formulas down that I taught you, is, of, and percent. There's going to be a lot of those problems throughout this book, and you need to make sure that you remember how to do those. So write your little chart down and then use that to solve these problems. Well, that's all I have for you. Hope you learned something. We'll see you later. Have a good one. Bye-bye.